Here's how you lose in Mario Kart Wii. There are so many ways that you can get screwed over in this game, and I'm going to go over all the biggest ways that players lose races in Mario Kart Wii. Now some of these are skill issues while others are just completely out of your control because in the end it is Mario Kart after all. So yeah, don't do any of these things if you can even help it. But without further ado, let's just get right into it. The first way to ensure that you lose in Mario Kart Wii is by choosing a trash vehicle to race in. I'm talking about choosing vehicles like the Quacker, the Phantom, the Piranha Prowler, the Off-Roader, or honestly pretty much any vehicle that isn't the Flame Runner or the Mach Bike. This is the definition of self-sabotage. This is because bad vehicles usually have bad outside drift, which is pathetic compared to the superior inside drift. And also they are usually just much slower with a terrible speed stat, making it almost impossible to keep a lead. Now these vehicles can for sure be fun to play with, but let's be honest, you're definitely going to lose if you choose one of these. And on the note of bad vehicles, you will certainly lose if you choose a cart or a bike in the lightweight category. Firstly, weight is probably the second most important stat in the game, and of course if you choose a lightweight vehicle, it's going to have a low weight stat. These vehicles suck because in Mario Kart Wii you go slower in the air and lighter characters go higher when tricking, meaning you will lose so much time compared to the heavyweights if you choose a lightweight. Additionally, lightweight vehicles generally just don't have a good speed stat, instead having good handling and acceleration, which just really doesn't matter in this game that much because speed is the most important stat in the game. So yeah, you're just asking to get bumped off the track and lose if you choose a lightweight. The next way to lose is by choosing automatic drift instead of manual drift before you get into a game. There is one simple reason that this will screw you over. Automatic drift does not give you mini turbos. Mini turbos are an essential boost that you get while drifting that makes you go considerably faster every boost. So if you choose automatic, you are just not going to compete with the people that chose manual and are just boosting ahead of you. Additionally, with automatic mode, there is actually no way to hop, meaning you can't perform certain shortcuts such as the Mushroom Gorge gap jump. Automatic mode is slower, harder to control, and all around just terrible, so yeah, you're not gonna win if you choose this. Now despite what Mario and Luigi use in the opening scene to this game, it is actually not a good idea to use the Wii Wheel controller to play the game, as it has motion controls which are cool but in the end are just a handicap, making it much harder to control your vehicle when compared to any other controller. Like seriously, just use any other controller other than the Wii Wheel. You got the remote and nunchucks, the GameCube controller, the classic controller, they all work great. Just know if you use the Wii Wheel, it's probably because you're a noob. And speaking of, don't choose Moonview Highway if you're new, cause yeah, you're not gonna win on that track. Next we have a couple little things that are good to make sure that you have before you get into a race, because if you don't take the right precautions, you can easily lose in very frustrating ways. Firstly, make sure you have good batteries because you will 100% lose the race if you are driving and all of a sudden your controller just dies out on you, or at least have some fresh batteries nearby. Similar to that, a bad internet connection can certainly make you lose online races. This one is hard to control, but it is true that if you lag out, you ain't gonna win that race, so just be wary. Now we're getting into more in-game ways that you can lose the race, and first we have taking the wrong path. I'm talking about the paths in the game that are just objectively slower. I talk about a bunch of those paths in this video here, so if you aren't sure which routes are the best to take in the game, that video might help, even though my mic sucks in it and I'm playing like a 5-year-old. But it's undoubtable that if you take the slow path, you are not going to be able to catch up enough to win the game. Next we have failing shortcuts. We've all been there. You're in the back of the pack and you try to take a risky shortcut to get ahead of the competition and win the game. And then you just fail the shortcut and fall off the track, and now you're even further in last place. This can absolutely ruin your race, so just take shortcuts at your own risk and make sure you practice them in time trials, or just don't take them at all, because I cannot tell you how many times I've failed shortcuts in this game when taking the normal path would have done me much better. And similar to failing shortcuts, ironically not taking shortcuts can also be a huge reason you lose in Mario Kart Wii. Now I'm not talking about every shortcut, but some of these shortcuts are essential to do online as everyone has learned them and does them every lap. I'm talking about shortcuts such as the DK Mountain Ending Gap shortcut and the DK Summit cut. These shortcuts are must-dos as everyone already does them every time, and if you don't do them, you're just gonna fall behind so far and not be able to get anywhere. Just trust me on this one and try to learn them because they aren't that hard and it'll help you a lot in your races. Another thing that you have control over in the game that can help you not lose is using your items correctly. Because if you are using them inefficiently, you are never going to win. Items can make or break a race, and when I see people doing things like spamming their mushrooms or red shells or spamming the shock and dodging everyone in the cannon, I'm gonna assume you are on drugs because it just makes no sense to be so careless with your items. Just slow down and patiently use your items. Try to save mushrooms for shortcuts and make sure nobody is able to dodge the effects of your shock. Additionally, throw your shells one at a time so they don't crack on each other. Things like this can help you go really far. I believe in you all. Kind of. And now we are getting into the ways that you can lose that are much more out of your control compared to the previous mentions, so I won't hate much from now on. Now, as previously mentioned, falling off the track is a great way to ensure that you will not win as you lose so much time. But it's even further exacerbated when you fall off and get an unfortunate respawn point. I discussed some of these respawn points in this video here, but honestly, what can you do? I guess just try not to fall off at these points, because yeah, if you do fall off on one of these points, you'll respawn back to the 1980s and you're never catching up and might as well just quit the game right then and there. So just try to be careful on tracks that have unfavorable respawn points such as Mushroom Gorge and Rainbow Road. Next we have using a vehicle with bad drift on a super windy track. Now this one is a little bit in your control, but let's be real, some of the fastest vehicles in the game have pretty bad drift, so I won't fault you for using something like the Sneakster or the Spear. But just do it at your own risk, because if you aren't prepared and get a windy track like N64 DK Jungle Parkway, you're just done. Yeah, you're done. Going into the off-road and hitting all the walls will make you struggle a ton, and it'll just be a very tough race for you, so again, do it at your own risk. Now this next one is purely luck, but sure to make you lose. Bad items. These are bound to get you when you least expect it. Bloopers, POWs, items like that usually do nothing when you could have gotten something like mushrooms to boost your way up to the front. Even a red shell in a horrible placement can just suck. And I feel like I'm missing something. Oh yeah. Obviously, you are done if you get the thundercloud and cannot pass it in time, because with that shock goes your chances at winning. So I don't know, I guess just have better luck or something. Now getting a bad item definitely sucks, but what is worse is getting your item box stolen. Oh my god, this happens way too much. It's always just when I'm going for that one item box that I think, you know, it's all mine, and then last second somebody snags it and I'm just left there stranded. This can definitely make you lose, as previously mentioned that items can be just make or break. So yeah, when you really need an item on the third lap or something, try to go for an item box that you think nobody else will go for. But honestly, that's probably what everybody else is thinking, and then you just won't get a box. And the theme of other players screwing you over continues because trolls, while rare, can 100% ruin your race. This is often seen where they get a star or a mega mushroom and then block a bridge, and then it causes everybody driving into them to get starred to a halt. So yeah, just watch out for these guys. But what might be worse than getting your item box stolen is when you get into a game where the whole lobby is just a way higher skill level than you. This happens sometimes where maybe you're just more of a casual player at like 6000 VR looking for some fun online play, and then you get into a lobby of 11 Funky Kongs all above 9000 VR. VR determines skill in this game, and a VR difference of that much will definitely make you lose, because you're just not going to be able to compete with the pros up there. Put it in simple terms, that's like a little kid on his bicycle in a NASCAR race. You stand no chance. But this is just gaming. Mario Kart Wii has some serious tryhards that, while not their fault, can ruin the game for lower skilled players, as you will never be able to catch up to them. I mean, these people are like robots, it's impossible. And speaking of tryhards, they often cause the next thing that can easily make you lose. Backspamming. Oh my god, this is just so toxic. I cannot tell you how many times I'm just peacefully racing and then the Funky Kong in front of me decides to put his shell in my face, and then I'm just completely screwed. If you backspam your green shells, you just suck. I could never do that. I'd never do that. Yeah. In addition to that, random green shells bouncing around the track that somehow hit you can easily ruin your chances at victory. It's just something unfortunate that you gotta try to be aware of, but sometimes it just slips by and then your race is done. And this next one definitely ruins races. Getting target shocked. I mean, this one is just like, what can you do? Getting target shocked is where you get shocked while jumping a gap, causing you to fall to your doom and respawning you. What makes this so devastating is that this often happens on tracks like Mushroom Gorge, which has the worst respawn points. So yeah, if this happens, just pack your bags and call it, man. And now we have something that happens in pretty much every video game, or just game in general: choking. This is bound to happen. Maybe the nerves get to you or you just misclick, but you did something that causes you to lose the game when you are about to get first place. You accidentally fall off or hit the off-road or fail a shortcut. If you choke a game, it's a painful way to go out, but yeah, this had to be on this list. And the last way I have for you to lose in Mario Kart Wii, what else could it be but getting Mario Karted? This is where something completely out of your control happens, like getting hit by a red shell, followed by a blue shell, followed by another red shell, and then getting bumped off the track and having a horrible respawn point. This is the ultimate way to go out in Mario Kart Wii. Pure anarchy and chaos just absolutely screwing you over. But hey, this is why we play it, and this is why we love Mario Kart Wii. Thank you all for watching. Let me know if you have any other ways that we lose races in Mario Kart Wii in the comments down below. But other than that, that's all I have for you. Have a great day, and as always, I'll see you all in the next one.